The story begins with a narration by Peter Pan, telling us about a place named Neverland, a land where mermaids swam in the crystal-clear waters of the lagoon, where boys could shoot bows and arrows and play pirates aboard the Jolly Roger. This is the land where every desire, every wish could be granted to the boys by fairies and no evil power hung over Neverland. The children were happy and could be friends till the end of time, and this was Peter's gift to grant boys their wish to never grow up. Afterward, Peter Pan is seen with a little boy in his lap, telling him the enchanting story of Neverland. The scene shifts to a circus where children are seen having fun with the man wearing spooky costumes, and shortly after, Peter is seen entertaining the audience while painting his face like a joker. He points his fingers at one of the children named James, sitting in the audience, and gives him a balloon, elating him. Thereafter, James comes home and is ready to hit the sack, while Roxy, James' mother, goes to take a shower. Peter emerges from the basement and tries to awaken little James, and later asks him not to get frightened by his presence. James asks him what he is doing down there. Peter replies that he just got lost and feeling shivering cold down there, moreover he lost his mother too. James explains that he is not supposed to talk to strangers and starts going to take his mother, but Peter stops him, saying, "We are not strangers at all," and reminds him that he caught him a balloon at the circus. Intrigued by this, James approaches Peter asking if that was really him. Peter says, "Indeed it was me." Afterward, Peter introduces himself to James, while Roxy hears the murmuring of the conversation. Peter tells James that there is a place where all the kids go, and he can take him there if James likes. He adds that there is no more mummy over there to control you. Just then, Roxy arrives and rushes to James to pull him back, while Peter tries to pull James into the basement. Roxy snatches James from him and runs to the exit of the house but finds it blocked. She takes a kitchen knife and gingerly begins to look for Peter, but is attacked by lurking Peter, who amputates her foot in cold blood, causing her to fall onto the floor. However, she gets back to her feet and stabs Peter in the back, but Peter fights back and slams Roxy on the kitchen counter and begins to inflict pain on her. Shortly after, Roxy sacrifices herself while saving her son. Afterward, disposing of Roxy, Peter looks for James, who makes a phone call to the police but couldn't say a word for fear of Peter, who kidnaps him in the end. 15 years later, Wendy comes down the stairs, using her phone while her mother asks Wendy to drop Michael, her brother, at school. Michael says that he doesn't need anyone to drop him off and starts leaving for his school. Wendy comes out and starts wishing Michael a very happy birthday in a very annoying way, while Michael asks her to stop, and after that, she takes him with her in the car, and they leave for school. On his way to school, Michael asks his sister why she is so obsessed with her boyfriend, Ronnie. She replies that one day, he will meet someone special, whom he will really like, and realize that he needs to do certain things to keep them in his life. Afterward, she cheers him up and drops him off at his school, where his best friend Joey has been waiting for him. Peter tells his assistant that it's time to collect them, and saying this, both get in the car. Wendy arrives late to her workplace, getting scolded by her boss. Wendy explains to her friends that her boyfriend Ronnie has ghosted her completely and he doesn't answer her phone calls. Peter enters the store when it is closed and begins to look for a good-looking mask, and shortly after, he finds one that suits him well. Peter begins to leave without paying for it, causing the shop owner to stop him, but Peter stabs him in the neck for asking him for payment, and kills him brutally. Joey gives Michael a photo of them, a type of souvenir, expressing their deep friendship. School lets out and Wendy waits for her brother outside while smoking. Just then, she is surprised by her boyfriend Ronnie. She asks him why he has been ignoring her, and he replies that he has been busy. Michael passes through a forest to reach home in time, unaware of a trap set there, and shortly after he falls off his bicycle. Not long after, Peter shows up, asking Michael to go with him. He forcibly picks up Michael and puts him into his van, while Wendy continues to wait for Michael outside his school, and when he does not come out, she approaches the school management to inquire about him. After kidnapping Michael, Peter takes him to his house. He takes off his mask, introduces himself to Michael as Peter Pan, and asks him to close his eyes. Then, he begins telling him about a utopian place called Neverland and advises Michael to think of that place whenever he is scared, and tells him that what he is giving him for his birthday is the greatest gift a child could ever ask for, and after saying this, he leaves. Mary sees the footage in which the children are returning home after the school and Michael is among them. Mary castigates Wendy for her negligence. Moments later, the phone rings and Wendy answers the call, only to hear music on the other end. She quickly realizes that it's a call from the kidnapper. Peter tells Mary that he is going to take her son to Neverland, causing her to hang up in anger and leave in search of Michael. Peter enters Michael's room, telling him he can't sleep, and he wants to play a game of Marco Polo with him while Michael listens to him sobbing, and Peter tells him that he is going to hide and Michael has to find him. Afterward, Peter hides and Michael begrudgingly looks for him. Michael walks into a room full of mannequins covered in polythene and calls out for Peter, but he doesn't respond this time. Finding an opportunity to escape the house, Michael begins to unlock the door, but inadvertently causes a jar to fall on the ground, creating a noise. Peter emerges from his hiding spot, making Michael's blood run cold, and after that, he sits near Michael, looking at a photo of Michael and Joey. Peter asks him if Joey is his friend and Michael responds in the affirmative. Then, Peter asks Michael if he would like to have Joey there to accompany him. Michael replies with a negative answer. Afterward, Peter plays Michael a song while explaining that his mother used to play this song for him and other boys at Neverland. Joey, Wendy and Lily arrive at Steven's house to inquire about his son because Steven's son, Timmy, also disappeared a long time ago when he was a little boy. Steven reveals that it was evening, when Timmy expressed his desire to visit his friend, and when he didn't return after a long time, he called his friends home and they told him that Timmy had never arrived at their house. Moments later, I received a phone call and the caller told me that he was taking Timmy to Neverland. A school bus is on its way but finds the road being blocked by Peter. The driver gets out of the bus, asking Peter to move his van aside so that he may leave with his bus. Peter approaches the driver and stabs him savagely, leading to his death. Afterward, he approaches the bus, looking inside through the windshield. He gets on the bus in search of Michael's friend, Joey. Tinker Bell comes into Michael's room holding a plate of food for him. Michael helps her collect the utensils, prompting Tinker Bell to appreciate him. Michael complains to her about Peter, as he coughs a lot, and Tinker Bell replies that Peter is very close to Neverland and this is his sign. Afterward, Michael asks her how long she has been there, and Tinker Bell replies that she is the first one chosen to be sent to Neverland. Terrified John comes home and reveals to Wendy that Michael's friends have been found dead in the woods and Michael also seems to have been killed in this mass killing. After killing innocent children, Peter washes his bloodied hands, and according to him, he has sent those kids to Neverland where they will have an eternal sleep. Peter talks to a shadowy entity, informing it that he will send Michael to him tonight, while levitating in the air. Wendy and Lily are at their friend Belinda's house and are concerned about Michael, while Peter is outside Belinda's house in his car, holding a photo of Michael and Joey. Moments later, he sneaks into the house while Lily is asleep on the couch and soon after, he stabs her until she dies. Wendy hears a scream coming from outside, prompting her to peep through the slightly open door and witnesses the brutal killing of Belinda's husband by a psycho killer. She quickly locks the door and begins to pack her bag, but meanwhile, Peter enters the room holding his knife blood-stained, and starts looking for Wendy under the bed but doesn't find her there. Wendy enters another room through the back window, discovering Peter killing Belinda. She can't do anything to save her except shed tears. Wendy sees the killer kidnapping Joey and without delay, she starts chasing him in her car. Peter arrives home while Wendy keeps an eye on him from a distance, and not long after, she stealthily enters the house. Peter takes Joey to Michael, informing them that one of them will go to Neverland tonight where they can dream anything, and after this, he asks them who wants to go first. Peter picks Joey to send him to Neverland and takes him away. Wendy searches for Michael and Joey in the house but bumps into Tinker Bell, telling her that she just wants her brother back. Tinker Bell lets her into Michael's room before Peter arrives. Wendy embraces her younger brother, promising him she will get him out of there. Peter hears a phone ringing in another room, getting suspicious of Tinker Bell. Michael and Wendy hear approaching footfalls, causing Wendy to hide in the corner before Peter bursts into the room. Peter asks Michael who else is in the room besides him, and in the meantime, Wendy attacks Peter, knocking him down and buying some time to flee with Michael, but shortly after, she is caught by Tinker Bell, whom Wendy recognizes as Timmy, Steven's son. Wendy reveals to Timmy that her father misses her a lot, and hearing this, Timmy bursts into tears because Peter has always told her that no one cares for her, and she is an outcast. After learning reality, Timmy lets Wendy and Michael leave. Timmy confronts Peter, asking him why he always lied to her.
Wendy sneaks into the basement only to find a coffin lying there. She opens it and finds Joey inside.
Ingrate Peter starts thrashing Timmy for betraying him and mercilessly cuts off her both arms, while Michael is hiding under the table, witnessing this slaughter. Wendy helps Joey escape the house through the window, asking him to send help. In the corridor, Wendy stumbles upon James' photo, the one whom Peter had given a balloon to. Meaning James is also trapped here, and not long after, Wendy comes across James, who has now turned into a grotesque creature. She tells James that she will not hurt him while James is still captured in chains, and asks her to help him, but Wendy runs away because Peter is heading to the basement. However, she is caught by Peter Pan, who tries to strangle her, but she manages to free herself and starts throwing objects at him to keep him away. Timmy is still alive and asks Wendy not to give up and fight back, but meanwhile, Peter crushes her skull, putting her to death, while Wendy gets away from there. Peter catches Michael and attempts to smother him, but Wendy comes in time, attacking Peter from behind, and forcing him to beg for mercy, but a short time later, he shows his true colors and attacks Wendy, but this time, Michael comes to save her sister, hitting Peter on his head, knocking him out. Afterward, he crushes his head as if he were taking out his deep frustration on him. Nonetheless, Peter sits up, saying, "You have ruined everything," and just then, James shows up and takes him to Neverland. Mary is on cloud 9 after getting her son back, and everyone celebrates Michael's birthday, but just then, the phone rings again and Wendy answers it, only to hear the music, leaving her senseless, and with this scene, this movie comes to an end.